Hello there. Firstly, forgive my hair. It's in a bit of a mess. It's sort of lockdown hair. I haven't had a chance to cut it, but it should be better brushed than that, and I'm ashamed of myself. You'll just have to forgive me. But I'm here to talk to you about mental health, and that can often be a rather grim subject, and people kind of feel they've either heard too much of it or that it's a bit like scratching a wound of their own, and they don't want to be reminded of it. But I thought I'd just have a word about what mental health is. And the best way of thinking of it, I suppose, is to think about, well, what is physical health? How often do you say to people, how are you? All the time. Do you ever listen for an answer? Almost never. Do you ever give an answer? Almost never. We're rather bored by people who say, oh, hi, how are you? And they go, oh, well, I've got this pain here. I've got a pain there. And we're used to the fact that we hide our physical ill health unless it's obvious. You know, we've got spots, or we've got a running temperature, and we're dripping with sweat, or we've got a cough or a cold, or we've broken a leg, or whatever it might be. Those are obvious, aren't they? But generally speaking, we're mostly in good physical health at the moment. If I look at myself, I think, well, yeah, I'm overweight. I get the odd twinge in my shoulder from sitting at the computer so much, but I don't think about my physical health unless there's something wrong. And mental health is slightly different because the very word think is to do with your mental state. So how can you think about your mental health if your mental health is bad and means you're not thinking clearly because you're unhappy, you're distressed, you're miserable, you hate yourself, you're afraid, you're anxious. There are all kinds of feelings that crowd in on you that you can't really express. Well, that's where other people can be genuinely helpful. I think, wouldn't it be great if we lived in a world where someone said, how are you? You could say, yeah, not at my best. Or just touch your head. And people will immediately get it. And they'll put a hand on your shoulder, and if they're friends. And they'll say, well, you can talk to me if you want to. Can you imagine how wonderful it is to be that friend? So it's one thing if you yourself have mental health problems with anxiety or mood or whatever it might be. But it's even better, in a way, if you can help someone else who has a problem, just by being aware of their problem and by being there for them, by saying, I'm your friend. And it's a great thing to do. It's a private thing that you can have with someone that just shows that you're there for them. And then they'll do the same for you. And that's what we need at the moment, especially at the moment, let's be honest, because it's so difficult with these lockdowns and things that have been going on, and we could never be quite sure when we're going to get out of this crisis. And if you're young, as many of you watching, of course, are of school age, you're wondering if you'll ever catch up, or all of these things can pile it down on you, and you just don't need to suffer that alone. I suppose that's what I'm saying. Anyway, I'm sorry if I brought you down by talking about these things, but that's what it's all about. Just be a good friend, all right? Lots of love.